welcome along and welcome back to Marwell Manor Farm, and we're down here at the shop, and the reason for this is because we're changing it up a bit. So if we look in our garage at the moment, in our leased items, you might notice we don't have any mowers any longer in here in our leased stuff, and we don't have a windrower either, so we didn't own the windrower or the mower. So the reason for this is because we're up at the shop here for this. We want the Krone Big M. I think it's going to be just so useful on the farm. We obviously at 380,000 cannot afford to buy it, but it is 19,380 to lease. So we're going to lease this because mowers and grass stuff we don't use too often. So we're going to grab that. At the same time, we're also going to grab ourselves one of the new pieces of kit from the Andersen DLC. We're going to get the FS19 XTractor. Similarly, we're not something we're going to use massively, so it's 1,530 to lease that as well. Foil colour, I am, as always, going to go with a bit of pink. And we're going to lease this as well. So we've got these two new pieces of kit because our grass is ready to cut again. So we're going to get these back to the farm. And we're going to go and get our field cut, baled, and we're going to go and basically start making some bale snakes from this. So there they are. There are two new pieces of kit. And we're left with 103,000. Now the reason for this is because we've sold the canola off. We've also sold off the oats. We had some... The price for oats was actually really good. So I've been selling off oats and I've been selling off the canola. And as a result, we have a decent amount of cash. Right, let's hook this up. I'm hoping this will hook up to this, otherwise we're going to have to come back and get it separately in a minute. No, perfect. So we'll get these two bits down here. We're going to set the Big M off on course play, cutting the field. And behind it, we've got our 8340. Our 8340 is available on the bale trailer. And so we're going to be set that off behind it, doing that way. And then once we're set up there, we're going to follow behind with the telehandler, with the Manitou. Set up this, and then we're basically going to be in a position where we can just create these bale snakes straight off the field. And the other great thing is, with the 103,000, we're in a position where we can get a cow pasture. So we're going to be buying that and trying to place that today as well. Unfortunately, we don't have enough money for to add any cows to it, but we're not far off being able to do that either. We've got a good field of canola up on the lower half of field 18 that's going to be ready to harvest soon, and we also have the field of corn up at the top end. Now, with making these bale snakes, we're not going to need to actually have ourselves any actually making any silage on here. So what I'm really tempted to do is just cut the corn that's growing at the top, or sorry, on the eastern part of field 18, which one's 1840. The eastern part of field 19, so that we can just get the money in from it, and whatever we make on that, we can then use to buy ourselves some cows. So that's my general thought at the moment. Drop that roll bell off and jump into the 8340 here. We're also going to have to go and get the 7740 refilled, so I'll hop off and do that in a minute. That will take a little bit of money. It needs some herbicide. It's actually spraying the top or the lower half of field 18 with herbicide, so we need to get that doing. This needs to move. We'll go and put this up at the top yard. So I'm going to put this up at the top yard, and then we'll come back and start looking at getting some bale snakes done. So I'm currently on my way back from the shop. I've taken the opportunity while I was sorting things out. To grab some herbicide and some fertilizer for our sprayer. That's because the lower half of Field 18, that is going to need both of these things coming up. So what we've done is I bought some herbicide, I bought some liquid fertilizer, and what we're going to do, just drop the trailer off and take a tank of it up there so that we can get the herbicide going. We really need to spray the weeds on that field. So I'm going to get rid of those. Like so. And the easiest way to do it, yeah, is to just sort of head up there with this. Now I need to be careful. We have not smoothed out this bump here yet. I need to get that smoothed out. So it's a bit of a weird bit, that. Almost tempted to put a bit of dirt at the bottom. Now you see where we've been spraying the weeds off here, and we got our poplars. So we got our rows of poplars there that you can see. It looks like we drove through it at one point. Now here's this. So it's right down the bottom end actually. So we'll put this on current waypoint, and then we'll just fold it up and get it out of the crop. Take it down the edge, and what will happen is we'll fill it up, we'll put a bit of herbicide in, and then we'll be in a position where we can just get it to go back to its current waypoint. As a result, this field is going to be really good for us, this canola. It's going to bring in a nice amount of money. We brought in 50,000 just from the other field of canola, and quite amazingly, we bought in for like 40,000 from the oats. The oats produced far more money for the farm than I'd expected them to. So let's get this back over here, and basically once this is filled up, all we're going to do is we're actually going to leave the herbicide tank here for now. I think we don't have any other crops that need filling up, so let's just drop the herbicide tank down in this end bit of the field, a bit of stubble that we have left. Reverse this up. There we go. So that should now fill off the herbicide tank. There we go. So that's filling with herbicide, and we're going to get the telehandler back down to the other yard, and then we can tab back through to here in a minute once that's full, and just get that running again. The other thing we need to watch is our soybeans. So we're planting soybeans in the upper part of Field 18. We do need to keep an eye on the fill level of that. That's at 46%. Soybeans, thankfully, are pretty small seed, so I'm less worried about that being an issue. Right, so we are going to go bale chasing. We're going to go and set this up and basically chase the bales off the field that our baler and our mower do, our big M do. Right, let's drop that off. So let's get the big M running, I think. So we're going to do the rows of bales, I think, out the other side. So we're going to drop that piece of kit off over here. So that's good. So that was interesting. With the IFX attached, what it did was it basically just set up the it started the engine on the IFX, not the engine on the Chrome, which is hilarious and bad. Right, so this means we'll be coming in for silage bales from the side, but that's not a horrible problem. And the engine is running on this, so let's fold it. Yeah, that's interesting. So before we go, we want to go as close as we can. Which is not that. Let's fold it out and see if that helps. Nope. Right, we're going to have to connect it back up, so let's fold it out. We got caught on it. It's not a very high thing, this. And we got caught on it. So we just need to reverse up. Pull this off the edge. Just make sure it puts it in a place. We want this both out of the way but useful to us. Tag the bale then. There we go. That should do it. Get our mower out of that spot. There we go. Hopefully, now we can drive this forward. Yeah, there we go. So I want to get 2 rows of bales coming out of this really from this point. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll leave that running there. Perfect. Let's go and get the Chrome Big M started. So we want this doing a swath. So let's bring that up as well. And yeah. So this is currently doing, let's unfold it. Should tell me what swath it's doing in a moment. We want field, of course we want to load, is field 19 west. This is a new mower, so we need to make sure that we're all good. And then we want to generate a course for it. So field work course. We are generating based on the current course, current starting position. We're going to reverse this up a bit. There we go. Headland first. We'll do a couple of headlands. Bypass islands deactivated. Fantastic. Right, that should do us. So we'll generate that course and see what that looks like. Yeah, that will work. So bring this. Work mode is wide spreading, so we need to change the work mode, which is left control Y. That is swath dropping. Left swath, right swath, wide spreading. Yeah, swath dropping is what we want. There we go, and we're going to start it from first waypoint, right course. So away goes our mower. What we're going to do that is we're going to save this course now. So FS19 west, big mowing. Brilliant. So there we go. And that is creating a swath. So what we can then do with that is we'll head over to this tractor. So our 8340, and we'll get this started up by going into the field and loading in the course that we just created. So we will load up. The first bale that comes out here is going to be a hay bale, unfortunately. But we want 19 west, big M. We've got it. We want it on field work. Turn it around from first waypoint, drive course. So this now will follow around the big M and doing bales, and then we're going to jump into this, into the Manitou, and do this. So these three working together like this, what we'll end up with is basically a conveyor belt of bales, of getting these bales out. We're going to bring this hay bale out first. We won't be able to wrap this, but we will be able to use it later. So, and it's producing quite a lot of bales, so we're going to be quite taxed to keep up with this. So that is a hay bale. So that is of no use to us. The big M is already round the field. So things are moving fast. And we have quite a long way to go as far as this goes. This front stack worries me. It looks quite unstable, especially in the middle. I'm going to try not to nudge it. Yeah, that is weird. That really does not want to come off the bale spike. Does a bit of a weird thing. Right, so let's go back. Yeah, the big M is moving at an incredible rate. Look at the speed that mower is going. We need to make sure that we keep this as clear as possible though. So we need to keep these bales coming and keep loading them in. So we're just going to be chasing around the field, creating a snake as long as we can. We need to make sure that we get the bales off the headland on the end that the baler is going to be going first. There we go. Back out that. And away that goes. So there we go. So that now will start wrapping those bales. And we are basically just going to chase around the field, keep trying to grab as many bales as quickly as possible until and create probably a pretty long snake from this, I think. And just sort of, yeah, this is why I wanted the big M, because the big M is a fantastic piece of kit for doing this with. It will run really fast, it will cut things quickly. Because it'll cut things quickly, it'll keep it cheap for us. We won't have an expensive time with it. And it will make, and the silage bales that we'll make with it will be really, really good. Really sort of positive setup. And we're going to get a lot of silage bales off it. We've seen this before with the other bales we get off. And it will just make this long silage snake off it, which we can then just start taking off the far end and work our way back. We might get two on here, especially if we get this working right. So what I want to do now is I need to head up here and take any bales off the far headland, because the thing is that mower will start hitting bales soon, and in fact you can see one up the top here. He's doing a really good job of avoiding them straight off though. It's staying inside where it's cut. Our baler, where's our baler got to? Alright, he is on the second headland now. And he's moving slower because he is unloading. He's having to unload bales as he goes, of course. Now what we can do is we can take two bales at once. So for example, knowing that we need to keep this headland clear and to save ourselves so many trips, we can put this one aside here. So grab these pair of bales, and then we just load one and then the other. Thing. Can't load two at once, of course, but loading two onto the front of this, that just means that everything then gets sped up, and we do things that much quicker. And it's making so what our chief thing here is to try and keep things as clear as possible. Now, what I'm thinking is we may have enough space to load one and then the other. So let's give that a try. So we get one into our, yeah, look at that. So there is enough space there to drop that one in first. Brilliant. So we don't have to unload them off the front first either. And then we can load the second in straight away. And that just keeps the whole thing moving really smoothly and really nicely. And we've got 4 bales into our snake already. And we've kept this side of things clear. So we're going to grab this bale next because this is right in the path of our mower. There we go. That clears that out there. So anything that is basically in the path of our mower, we keep going. And this is where it just gets really nice, where it gets really smooth. So again, we've got another bale here, and we're actually got this mounted in such a way that we can pick that up and get out of there. Now hopefully that other bale there is not going to be in the way. So I've taken the front bale, not the back bale. But that is just, that mower is going to finish really quickly. And our tractor is going to be going around a while chasing it, doing bales with it. Now the rather nicely, the baler seems to be dropping bales roughly the same position. So getting 2 bales should be fairly easy. We've got the bottom end of the field clear. We just need to go and clear the top end. So that's what we're going to be concentrating on next. And it is just really this simple and this efficient as well. You know, whoa, we dropped the second bale. That's all right. We'll pick that up hopefully quickly. So that is coming backwards. There we go. Put that in as well. There we go. And it's going to be, I think what we're going to do is, at the moment we're doing the chasing on this, trying to get these bales out of the way. And get the headland bales out of the way. I think what we'll do is for the remainder, for the other ones, we'll head up and we'll go and get the, we'll pick them up with the trailer and just load them into our snake. So it's a little bit more controlled. It was just on the headlands we needed to really clear this up and catch them. And it's worked well. Worked really well. We've had minimal issues. And we've got them in. We've got our first snake going. So what I'm going to do next is once we've got the rest of these headland ones out, we'll go hitch up. Do I have a spare? I don't think I have a spare tractor at the moment. I think once the baler has finished working, what we'll do is we'll go and collect those up. So we'll get the rest off the headland with this, and then once that's done, we'll get the bale trailer that we've got, and we'll take the 8340 and we'll go around the rest of the field, unless of course the 7740 is still working away, so maybe that will finish in a minute, and we can go and grab that and start collecting the bales up. What I want to do is that will then make the whole process of doing this wrapping so much quicker, where we're not having to drive back and forth to the field. So yeah, I'm going to grab 2 more bales, and then I'm going to see what the 7740 is doing, and hopefully that will be freed up any moment. So just 1 more bale up on the headland up here. You So you can see the headland bales in comparison to the normal field bales. And this field produces so many bales, which is why I wanted the big M, because with it doing that much. Yeah, you want the big M to sort of come up here. And then the bale collector just then makes it easy, and then the wrapping in tubes just makes this whole thing, this whole field, that much more efficient. Which is utterly fantastic. And we can actually, our tedder will pull behind the big M as well. It's a good width for that too. So yeah, it all should work very, very nicely. Here we go, final little bit in. So this is the only headland bales we haven't got are the ones on the first row on the far side that didn't make much sense to grab at the time. Oh, okay, we have to extend the arm out to get this thing. Yeah. Whoop. Go. Put that in. Right, I'm going to go and see what the 7740 is doing, and hopefully we'll be able to use it in a moment to get the rest of the grass bales collected up. So we're in our New Holland 8340. We're just finishing up here. Clearing the course play course there, and yeah, so this should, I think we're going to get one more bale off here. I don't think there's two bales here. No, I think we'll stop at the end of this row because that will give us one bale. There's not enough, I don't think, to get another bale off there, and it'll just end up giving us a grass bale somewhere where we don't want one. We'll turn it off. Oh, we already have it, so we've got to turn it back on. Should have lifted it up and turned it off, so we might as well get as much of this grass as possible in here, but it's not going to complete a bale, I don't think. Yeah, nowhere near. But we have got a sizable number of bales off here now. Our 7740, unfortunately, was really quite busy. It's still got a lot of herbicide to spray, so I need to get this hooked up to our bale trailer. We'll collect up the remaining bales that we've, or the bales that we've got kicking around on the field. And then once we've done that, what we'll do is get those unloaded down here, and then we just need to unload them or load them into the trailer, and it'll be a much shorter distance to do it. So head up here where I placed the bale trailer, which is in here. I think there will be 2 lots from this. I'm actually growing to love this bale trailer now that I know how to use it a lot better. I'm actually growing to love it. It still has its foibles. It's still a little bit annoying if you've only got a few bales on it. But when it's full, it works really, really well. And I really quite like it. So, let's unfold it. Nice creak there with it unfolding. And we'll get a nice set of bales. So we'll head to the side of the field here. Best way to do this is to go across the field where you were. Plenty of grass that the balers missed, so I might come back and do some more with that. Yeah, there's quite a bit of grass. I think we may have another bales full on this field, so we'll see how that does. But this is a really efficient way to do this. Really quite nice. There will only be 2 trailers worth off here. I have been impressed by this DLC. There we go. Down the side. Load it up. So by getting all of these over to the farm, what we can do is we then have a much shorter distance from which just to put them into our IFX and get them wrapped. I've also decided, basically, the way I'm playing the game now, and in order to get the larger stuff, is I tend to buy anything that I'm going to use a lot, like tractors. We buy them outright. Anything that is fairly cheap to buy, like a trailer, which we're going to use a lot, we tend to buy as well. But things like this trailer, which we're not going to use very much, or things like that, there's no point really in us buying. So yeah, we'll just lease them, and then as we use them, you know, pay for them that way. We need to use stuff for a lot of hours in order to spend as much on a leased item as on a purchased item, which is why, you know, this tractor at 13 hours is getting towards the point, but actually getting towards the point where it would cost the same as to lease it. But thinking about it, we're still quite away from what it would cost to do it. So that might be also a great way to go if you're starting from scratch, is to actually just lease all your equipment until you can afford to buy it. Yeah, your lease costs are going to be expensive, but not as you're still going to have a lot of money left over that you can then use to do things on your farm, to buy land. You know, if your equipment only costs you 100,000 to lease, and you get a whole ton of equipment for that, you then got 400,000 to play around with buying your farm with, and things like that. And if you're only leasing the small equipment that you need, then you're going to be good. Right, not many bales left. And this, then, that's it. Yeah, so another trailer's worth to come. Let's fold up our pickup like so. And we're just going to go and put these in a position where it's going to be easy for our telehandler to unload them, to get them loaded up. So here we are. I don't want to block anything, so I want to make sure I unload about here-ish, I think. Yeah. Like that, and then it really is just making sure that when you unload, you give it the time to unload. So, and it's easier to see it when you've got a full trailer like that, but when you've only got like 6 bales on, it's not so easy to see how the push off back works, which is what, you know, caught me out to begin with. So how many bales we got? Not many bales left. This may not even be a full trailer, which is fine. As I said, I think I'm going to come back up here in a bit with the baler and just, I mean, there are definite areas where we just need to get the baler on here and get those last few bits done and dusted. Mechanisms on these trailers are really cool. That is looking closer and closer to being ready to cut. So I think we're going to be doing that in the very near future. As I said, with the amount of silage we're going to get off this, and the fact that we don't own the BGA or anything like that, we're going to have to. We have to cut this normally. And that won't cost us very much, but it will then throw us back over to being able to buy our cows, or our cow stuff. Our cow enclosure to begin with, and and that will work well. And yeah, just that little bit of grass in here that needs doing. There's still some grass around the edges from before as well. Yeah, plenty of grass still around this field, so we can get at least another bale, or possibly two, with what we have. This is going to be an exact number of 3 though, which is good. So last bale. Fold that back up, head back down, and then we will be able to start loading these in. But I think actually that's a pretty good place for us to end it. Never before have we done that field so quickly, and I am massively pleased to see that has worked so well. Let's not hit the other pile. Unload. What we're going to do, actually, unload about there-ish, I think. So unload this. So yeah, you see it takes a little bit of time and then they push off. I kind of wish that would be immediate. That's my issue with this trailer, is that then throws me off, because that is not immediate. Those are fairly well lined up though. But that really is it for now. So all that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. And for all the latest videos and live streams from FendtFarmer, please subscribe to the channel. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.